Okay, let's get started. Here's a thought to kick us off. What if a lot of what we think we know about money, about building wealth, is actually, well, kind of leading us down the wrong path?
That's a really interesting way to frame it.
Yeah, and it ties right into what we're exploring today. We're doing a deep dive into Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's from 1997, but still incredibly influential.
Oh, absolutely. And it's built around this really compelling personal story. You know, Kiyosaki basically contrasts his own upbringing between two different father figures. You've
Exactly.
got his biological dad, highly educated, the quote, poor dad, who really believed in like job security, climbing the ladder, the traditional
The
route.
safe path.
Yeah. And then there's his best friend's dad, the rich dad, who is the successful entrepreneur, imparting totally different, unconventional ideas about money.
And that dynamic, that contrast is really the core of it all, isn't it? It's where all the insights start to come from.
It really is.
So our mission today is basically to unpack those key lessons that come out of that contrast. Ideas that, frankly, challenge a lot of traditional thinking and maybe offer a fresh look at financial education.
Well, the first big thing Kiyosaki hammers home is this idea that our schools, they teach us academic stuff, professional skills maybe, but they almost completely skip financial literacy,
Yeah.
understanding how money actually works. Assets, liabilities, how cash flows. He says that's just fundamental to building any real wealth. It's almost like needing to learn a whole new language.
That's such a good point. We learn complex math, but not like basic budgeting or investing.
Exactly.
And that leads right into probably the most famous idea from the book, the difference between assets and liabilities. He puts it so bluntly. The rich buy assets. The poor middle class buy liabilities they think are assets.
Right. And that distinction is key.
Yeah.
Assets, he says, put money into your pocket. Think income-generating investments, maybe rental properties, royalties, things that earn for you. Liabilities, on the other hand, they take money out. Your mortgage, car loans, credit card debt,
Yeah.
you know the drill.
Yeah.
And here's where it gets a bit controversial for some. He challenges the idea that your main home is your biggest asset. Kiyosaki argues it often acts more like a liability because, well, it costs you money constantly. Taxes, upkeep, mortgage payments.
So it's draining cash, not generating it.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So wealth building isn't just about getting a bigger paycheck. It's about acquiring things that generate income.
Assets. And understanding that difference, focusing on assets, that's the key to escaping what he calls the rat race, right?
Exactly.
Can you unpack that a bit? What is the rat race, according to him?
It's that cycle, Get a job, earn money, pay bills, need more money, maybe you get a raise or a second job, but then expenses go up too. You're just running and running on this wheel, working for money, but never actually getting ahead or building like passive income or real financial freedom.
So you're stuck.
You're stuck. The goal is to break free by having your assets work for you, generating income so you're not solely reliant on your paycheck.
Which often involves.
Well, often it involves embracing something else Kiyosaki really pushes,
Yeah.
entrepreneurship, or at least an entrepreneurial mindset.
Ah, okay. Back to the two dads.
Right. Poor dad valued that job security. Rich dad was all about creating opportunities through business, through investments. So Kiyosaki really advocates for thinking like an entrepreneur, even if you are an employee.
How so? Like side hustles.
Yeah, side hustles, investing wisely, maybe creating intellectual property, anything that generates income beyond your main job instead of just depending on that salary. It's a pretty different way of thinking, though, what most of us are taught.
It really is. It pushes against the default settings, doesn't it?
Definitely.
But underneath all these strategies, assets versus liabilities, escaping the rat race, thinking entrepreneurially, there's something maybe even more fundamental Kiyosaki talks about.
Yeah, the mindset shift. He argues that your attitude towards money, towards risk, towards failure, even towards learning, that's absolutely crucial.
How does he contrast the mindsets?
Well, he suggests the rich, or those with the rich dad mindset, are often more willing to take calculated risks. They see failure as a learning opportunity, something to, learn from quickly and then try again.
Whereas the poor dad mindset.
Rooted more in sort of caution, maybe fear of failure, fear of losing that security.
So it's not just about the numbers, it's about your psychology around money.
Absolutely. He believes that's maybe the biggest difference maker.
So wrapping this up, Rich Dad, Poor Dad is really asking us to fundamentally rethink how we approach money. It's not just about what we earn.
No, it's about how we think about what we own and what those things we own actually do for us financially. Are they adding to our income? or draining it.
It's a simple idea, but quite profound when you really think about it. Okay, so after considering all this, the difference between assets and liabilities, this idea of the rat race, here's something to leave you with. What might be just one small, maybe entrepreneurial thought or action you could try out this week? Something, anything that shifts your focus even slightly from just working for money towards perhaps making your money start working for you.